Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where friends come together to talk about video games and our lives. As always, I'll be your host, Kaedhen Birthday Lane, and I'm joined by the godfather of the Great Game Debate himself, Jonah Gomez. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. What is up, my dude?
Well, our audio listeners can't see, and our video watchers can't see either because you have a hat on, but your hair's looking very beautiful today.
Are you gonna
Just
make me
wanted
show?
everyone to
Are you
know.
gonna make me show everyone here? I'll
No,
show.
you don't
I'll
have
show.
to.
I'll
You
show.
don't have to.
I'll show.
He has to.
Behold.
I was going for my
yeah.
my John Wick cosplay,
Yeah.
Juan Wick. So
It's like original RE2 Leon
There's
S.
that for
Kennedy,
everyone.
very much. Yeah.
Mm.
And I'm sorry to say we are not joined this week by our usual man in the closet, Wes Bates, as he's on a family road trip for his birthday. Hope you're having fun, buddy.
He's
But to
actually
make up
like
for
in my
it,
town tonight.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And as you just heard, that is the lovely Rob Hudak himself, who is a returning guest.
Oh, hey, hi, hello. Thanks for having me back.
I love your Dark Souls energy coming in with the Solaire on your mic. That's
Praise
good
the
stuff.
sun.
And we are also joined by second returning guest, Ryan Stabell. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing tonight?
And just want to plug your podcast real quick. Ryan's coming to us from the Spelunkers, and Rob's coming to us from the Draft Punks. Both very awesome podcasts you should check out, and I've had the pleasure and honor of being on myself. But yeah, thanks for coming on again, guys. We really appreciate it. So
Thanks for having us.
Happily. Yeah.
I hope you guys stopped by the warehouse on your way in and picked up the keys for your International Paystar 5070, because it's time for the icebreaker. I guess only the initiated will know. So for Icebreaker this week, I thought we'd just kind of come in with our individual top moments of the PlayStation Showcase. This is the hot news right now in the gaming world. Whatever that means to you, I'll go ahead and kick us off. There's that game, I don't know how to pronounce it. It might be Chia or Tachia. It's like a cool little cute indie adventure game. And at the end of the trailer, the camera zooms in on a little crab walking along the beach, and she gives head pats to the crab, and I was like, oh my god, so wholesome. Like with the giant enemy crab in with the tiny friendly crab, am I right? But
Games are truly art.
yeah. How about you though, Rob?
So I will say I was 4 for 4 for my predictions for the PlayStation Showcase.
damn son.
Wow.
Well, wait.
First
One of his predictions was there will be blue, right?
No, but I will go through in order. First one, appearance by Jim Ryan. Check.
Okay.
Color blue. Check. On Jim Ryan. Let's go. 3, there will be another Deathloop trailer.
Oh my god, I'm so tired of seeing that game.
4, that God of War sequel will show up.
yeah.
So the one I really care about the most is the Deathloop show up, because it infuriated Dory so much. In part because she and I had a conversation about, like, I think it was way earlier this year, there was another PlayStation event where they showed off more Deathloop, and she and I had a discussion about whether or not, like, why they kept bringing it and showing it there. I was like, well, if you consider it, like, that's literally Sony's only exclusive this year for, like, up until what's their next real exclusive?
I mean,
don't think
Horizon comes out in January, right?
Next year.
Yeah, next
Right.
year.
So for 2021, what is Sony's only first party exclusive by a company they don't even own? So it's the second party.
Is Kaedhen gonna be an exclusive?
Oh,
Ken
think
is
it's
also
launch.
on PC.
Oh,
But yeah,
okay.
but so is Deathloop. But yeah, so same kind of thing.
Mhm.
But so the point being is, like, the fact that Deathloop keeps showing up is like, well, this time I knew it was going to show up because the game literally releases within a week.
Yeah.
And what is a PlayStation Showcase? Marketing.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are they going to try to do for the game that comes out soon? Market it.
It's
So
just
it-
commercials that everyone's excited to watch.
Exactly, which is, there's no shame in that, but
Yeah.
like being able to, like, I don't know, get so mad about like this game constantly showing up. Like, I get it, it's kind of exhausting at this point, but I was like, of course it's going to show up.
Yeah.
The
See,
game's out in a week.
I'd be fine if, like, with the game just showing up a bunch, but I feel like I don't need to play the game anymore because I know what's gonna happen. I feel like they've shown too much of the game. Like, if they're just showing
I
like
wish
a
this
little
trailer was the first trailer, to be honest.
yeah, like I wish they just shown little snippets of it, like that, because they've shown how to take out like 4 of the 11 bosses already. It's like that's almost
But only one way to take out each one.
So
Multiple ways.
so with that, like, yeah, they have shown a lot of it. I think the struggle is because, one, Dishonored 2 didn't sell very well, even though that game was very straightforward in what it was going for. Still didn't sell very well. Game was fantastic.
Yeah.
Dishonored 2 is an incredible game, way better than the first one. Second, roguelites for the longest time, this, whether or not you want to argue whether it's a roguelite or not.
Yeah, that argument's just
yeah, I guess it could be, huh?
in a way it is, yeah. But like the whole point being is like those are hard to market. Games like Hades and Returnal, I mean, more so Hades. Returnal is a whole other thing, but like they're hard to sell. And so trying to come up with a sales pitch for a game that is like this weird, I get them trying to like, no, but really, like, this is cool, because immersive sims in general also don't sell very well. Like Hitman 2 did not sell very well. Hitman 3 finally sold very well. So they're in a weird position. So I get them trying to constantly push and sell it. But like, I was already sold on that game the second I found it was Arcane Leon making it.
exactly.
And that like it was like 60s 70s blaxploitation action shooter, like first person shooter that's on PC. Like, I'm gonna be playing mouse and keyboard with that game and having an absolute blast.
There you go.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
So imagine if this game did come out on time, though. Like, that was supposed to come out in May, right?
Yep.
We would have had Returnal, and then this game come out in May. What would Sony have had at the end of? That's a $40 game.
Well, the thing is, like, you know, the game's pushed back probably because of complications due to COVID in part.
Well,
so, like, if COVID did happen and it released early, we probably would also be getting like Horizon Zero Dawn this holiday season.
And God of War.
Fair.
That was the plan. God of War was originally slated for 2021.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything being what it is in the reality of the world, like, yeah, it's basically Deathloop and Kenna as far as like exclusivity is concerned. Though there is Fist, that's a whole other thing.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah. Well, what about you, Ryan? Your personal top moment?
Gran Turismo 7. Oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right.
Not surprising for those that know I really enjoy racing games, but I'm really glad we finally got some eyes on it. They brought a campaign back. They brought vehicle customization back. The cars look amazing. There's World War II era Jeeps. I can't wait to find out why.
All right.
You got Snow Runner in my GT.
So what was the last GT game?
Gran Turismo Sport, which had no vehicle customization.
Really?
None.
Counterintuitive to the whole
like
concept.
The whole point of those games, right? Is to like tune up your
Like
car the way you want it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And before that was 6, which was a fine Gran Turismo, but for me personally, they removed endurance races, which are so much fun. I loved racing for 8 actual hours.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Please explain.
I mean, in real life, you know, there are the 24-hour Le Mans, you know, it's an actual 24-hour race, right? So, like, that's a race you could do in Gran Turismo 5, and it would take you 24 real-world hours.
Which I think is so cool that they want to simulate that in a game. That's so great.
It's a real racing simulator.
Yeah, exactly. But then in Gran Turismo 6, that race was like 48 minutes.
Damn.
Like, that's not endurance.
Yeah.
The math is wrong.
Guys. So
Something
in real
doesn't
life,
add up
like,
here.
do they get a chance to like use the bathroom, like a
Oh,
pit stop,
yeah,
or-
so-
okay.
Those are racing teams. There's like 3 drivers. They rotate, you know, every few hours.
Very cool.
See,
Now
what
I'm,
I
like,
would have
very
done is just cut a
interested in this
hole in the
real-life
bottom
mode.
of the seat, kept my crack like open, and then or maybe you just got like a co-driver and he unbuttons it for you, and then you just like.
I was gonna say, then you're playing Mario Kart.
Oh no! Oh god! Here,
Oh, it's very
taste my
cool.
Cliff Bar farts, mother effer.
Well, on that note, Jonah, what's your personal top moment from the PlayStation Showcase?
So, like, hanging out with a bunch of people, watching this thing, seeing the Wolverine trailer come up, and just
Yeah,
everyone
dude. What a surprise.
absolutely losing their minds that we're getting a Wolverine game
Mhm.
from Insomniac of all
Yeah.
people. It's
Yeah.
like I want to know
That
what
was huge.
I want to know what voodoo magic they're doing to pump out
Mm-hmm.
another Spider-Man game, which is really what I'm like most hyped about is the new Spider-Man game. But like, how are they pumping out 2 Spider-Man games, a Ratchet and
Yeah.
Clank
Mhm.
game, another Spider-Man game, and then a Wolverine game on top of that? Like,
Well,
I
it's
didn't.
probably called Crunch.
That, and they probably have multiple teams rotating between different facets of production, like pre-production,
Yeah.
post-production. That's
And, you know,
essentially. Go ahead.
Sony funding.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean that's true.
Yeah, my point being, they literally just got bought by Sony, so they have them like blank check to, okay, we're gonna start this now. Let's hire on a completely new team for this.
But
Mhm.
I didn't think Insomniac was that big of a studio to pump out games that much. Maybe
Now they are.
maybe it's just because they can keep a lot of assets from Miles Morales
Mhm.
and Spider-Man 2018. So maybe
Yeah.
they don't have to rebuild a whole world. They definitely don't need to redo an engine. Maybe they just need to make more content. But at the same time, isn't that world
Yeah.
going to feel pretty stale if you're
Well, I'm sure that they've also like drastically like increased their team size,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
since
Mhm.
Spider-Man was such a big hit.
And
So,
we didn't get any kind of date with Wolverine. That was a very early teaser.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I suspect that's like 2025 at the
Yeah.
Oh
earliest.
my god, that'd be so far out.
Yeah, but they
years.
don't have to worry about it leaking.
That is true. That is true. Oh man.
My favorite thing I've seen online about Wolverine is there's like this internet movement right now to try to get Insomniac to hire David Hayter to do the voice for Wolverine,
Oh
which
my
I think
God,
would
that'd
just
be
be
so awesome.
perfect. And
Yeah,
you know, he's a director, a screenwriter, and he worked on the X-Men movies. So
Mhm.
he actually like personally had some experience like setting up like that scene in the bar with Logan in the first X-Men movie. So yeah, it would just be perfect.
Dude, I
I
didn't
hope he
even
gets it.
think about that. That's awesome. Has he
Yeah.
done any work in the video game space?
Yeah, he's most famous in the video game space for being the voice of Solid Snake in the Metal Gear Solid
Oh,
games.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Jesus, what's his name? David Harbour, the guy from Stranger
Oh,
Things.
Oh, yeah.
that'd be cool too.
Oh,
I'd be down for that.
my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would
Yeah.
be sick though. Having Solid Snake
be
be
perfect.
Wolverine.
Yeah. It'd be great. All
Metal
right.
Gear
Well, we'll move right along into our debate. So I will
Oh boy.
turn it over to Jonah Gomez.
Ryan Stabell, Rob Hudak.
Jonah Gomez.
Jonah Gomez. Wait, Juan Wick. Sorry.
Juan Wick. That is how you will refer to me for the rest of the night. Is Juan Wick.
His honorable.
The venerable Juan Wick.
I hope.
Esquire.
I hope you guys are ready for the debate.
Me too.
In my top left right corner, top left corner, we have Ryan Stabell representing Borderlands 2, baby. And
All the Borderlands.
well, yeah, you got Borderlands 2 right there. It's all the Borderlands. Jesus, I am messing this up so bad. In my bottom right corner, I have Rob Hudak representing Destiny.
Let's go. That's my
Gents,
gun.
Oh, fancy guns, gents. Tonight, our good lad, Kaedhen Berthay Lane.
You said it right.
I said it right. Will be. You guys are just throwing me off so much. Will be your icebreaker. Remember, we got a 2-minute opener, 2-minute rebuttal, and 2-minute closing thoughts. Ryan, heads or tails?
Yes. Tails.
From the Borderlands.
Yes, that's why.
Uh-huh.
Ryan, would you like to go first or last?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Wow, I was
Okay.
expecting the other, but
All
I
right.
figure you probably went last time, so shift it
Yeah.
up.
Change it up just a little bit. We got 2 minutes on the clock, Ryan. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right, sir. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, gamers. We all know the problem in today's gaming world. There are too many games. So what I want to sell to you today is a game that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. 3 of them, even. They're called Borderlands. All right. This is some of the best looting and shooting you're going to find in games. The loot in these games is phenomenal, and there's more of it than any other game. Billions of guns. They even have legs. All right, everybody, these guns walk on their own. Great writing, unique characters and personalities across all 3 games with a very humor-filled style. You know, humor's hit or miss, but I think Borderlands still has some fantastic jokes across all entries of the game. Great music. A lack of PvP, you know, I just want to play games with my friends, and with that lack of PvP comes some wild and wacky guns and equipment because there's no need to balance it for PvP. 4-player co-op because we're tired of having to lose that 4th friend out for a game that only has 3-player co-op. Classes that really feel individual, unique, and stand out from each other, give you a broad play style based on what equipment you want to use, and just good times.
30 seconds.
I'm gonna end it there.
Whoa!
Oh, confident. Look out.
Wow. Giving up
Can I use
30
his
seconds.
time against him?
Oh, so confident you can fill 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Huh?
Wow, okay. All right, Rob.
Oh, I have lists.
We got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready, sir?
Indeed.
3, 2, 1, debate.
All right. Now, as my partner here in this debate, Ransabel mentioned, the Borderlands games have a beginning, middle, and end. That is true. I would like to bring before the group Ryan Stabell's playtime on all 3 Borderlands games eclipses about 2,000 hours. So 1,000 hours, 3,000 hours. Yeah. Okay. So that doesn't sound like a game that ends to me, but the man has had some fun. I have also spent hundreds of hours in a game called Destiny and Destiny 2. There has been some of the best moments I've had with friends in completing raids, which I've never had an experience like that in any of the Borderlands content I've experienced, quite like completing a raid with 5 other friends. The narrative that exists outside of the game, as well as now better within it, I think that the Grimoire idea that they'd started with really started to come to its own with the expansion Taken King for Destiny 1, where they introduced the Book of Sorrows, which really leaned into the Hive and their inclusion into the narrative. The weapons in Destiny also have quite distinct personalities. Now, there are concessions to be made for PvP, but I also do love the ability to play competitive games with my friends and do, much like Bungie is known for in the Halo space with Forge, interesting ways to compete. And I have one quote from here from one Chris. It's Tactical Dreamer of the Spelunkers. Gameplay wise, probably the best first person shooter ever.
Wow.
That's hearsay.
And that's your
It
time.
is on record on a Twitch stream.
It's opinion.
I see Rob going in a little early on the rebuttal with his opening statements, but it's all good. It's all good. Ryan, are you ready for your
Rebut.
rebuttal?
Let's go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Debate.
All right. So obviously, Borderlands has a strong presence when Destiny feels the need to get so defensive right off the bat. Let's talk about Grimoire cards. Borderlands has a story that's very apparent. You don't have to go searching through menus, reading cards to figure out exactly what's going on. You know who Handsome Jack is. You know why he's a prick. You know you need him dead. You know who the twins are in Borderlands 3. They're a little less well-written. I don't remember their names off the top of my head. And I don't have 2,000 hours into Borderlands 3. These games are the most played. I've got, 2,500 hours into 2, over 1,000 hours into 3. Because, yes, you can end these games. You can roll credits and feel completed, feel satisfied, not feel like you have to come back to work every week to fill some battle pass bounty or make sure you get the quantities you need so you can get the raid, get your light level up all appropriately. No, you can reach the end of a Borderlands game, but they still give you some of the best gameplay loops to work with at the end game. Best ways to level up in the end game that can just level up infinitely. Small percentages that just add up to huge amounts over time. And they do that with some of the best DLC in any game. DLC so good, it's getting its own game. Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep is becoming its own full-fledged Borderlands release. You've also got stuff like the
30
Secret
seconds.
Army of General Knox, which was so good, so much new content in Borderlands 1, and it was game-breaking in a fun way. You could drive the cars off of the platforms raised hundreds of feet above the desert onto the map where you should be dead and just drive around. It's good old-fashioned game-breaking fun. But in Destiny, all that time feels like work. And in Borderlands, it's just fun. And aren't we playing games for fun?
And that's time.
Kaedhen?
Oh.
All right, just tell me when my 30 seconds is up, okay?
Ready, set, go.
He wasn't, you know it, he wasn't. I was walking down the street when out the corner of my eye saw a pretty little thing approaching me. She said, I never seen a man who looks so all alone, or could you use a little company? And if you pay the right price, your evening will be nice and you can go and send me on my way. I said, you're such a sweet young thing, why'd you do this to yourself? She looked at me and this is what she said. Oh, there ain't no rest for the wicked. Money don't grow on trees. I got bills to pay, I got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free.
Oh,
I know I can't slow down. I can't slow
Beautiful.
I can't
So,
believe what you used
that's
that on.
fantastic.
Oh.
The reason why I was using mine as a rebuttal was I thought that we were doing the opener rebuttal close.
Okay.
So I was like responding with my time as
First time debaters. Confusion is bound to happen.
wanted to make sure because I know we were trying to condense for time on a lot of these things.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
No,
about it.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's why I went that direction.
Well, now
Excuses.
now you can just use the first half of your rebuttal
Sure.
as the rest of your opening statement.
Sure.
Mr. Rob Hudak, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. Ready, set, go.
Well, I would also like to bring up one last point in regard to Ryan's involvement with Destiny 2 and one reason why he stopped playing Destiny 2. Specifically because he had such an attachment to a character named Kaedhen 6 that the very death of that character with the Forsaken expansion made him uninstall the game. Now with that, part of what I love about Destiny in general is, yes, there is a lot to do, but the biggest criticism that game faced at its start was that it had nothing to do. But now there is just an absolute embarrassment of content that keeps bringing people back for more and more. Such as an example, last year there was an event called the Corridors of Time puzzle that had people, streamers, community members, Reddit involved in dozens of hours basically spent trying to solve a puzzle that I've never experienced anything like that in any other game. Just such a Bungie is known for involving their community in such ways that to the point of actually receiving an award at the Game Awards for best community support. And I think that speaks for itself in the quality of the games that they create in trying to develop unique experiences to provide value for the
30
player.
seconds.
I remember when I got my Gjallarhorn. Ryan Stabell remembers where he got very prominent guns in his collection. Those moments stand out. And to be with a fire team when you complete the Last Wish raid, which is my favorite raid in Destiny history, is unlike anything else. It truly brings gamers together, and that's what I think it's all about.
All right, very good indeed. Remember, Rob, for your closing thoughts, you still got Kaedhen for 30 seconds. I don't know if he's gonna sing 30 seconds of a
He
song
just sings
for you.
Kaedhen that song again.
Just finish the rest of the song.
Ryan, are you ready for your
Yes.
closing thoughts?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Let's talk about gun moments, because yeah, I do remember when I got my Gjallarhorn, but I also remember when and how I got my Thunderball fists and how I hunted for that thing for 2, maybe 3 weeks on end, farming the first boss to the game, who already had a low chance to drop a legendary, let alone his legendary. Couldn't get it. I had that route so good I was speed running the first part of Borderlands 2. And then my friend found one in a locker. I will never forget that moment. And he duplicated it for me. You love it. And you know, speaking of Borderlands 2, that is the perfect sequel, right? May not be a perfect game, but that is the perfect way to do a sequel right out the box on release. They had everything you want to see in a sequel. More, better, bigger, all of it. Characters, gameplay, guns, skills. All of it was just ramped up from the first game in such a fantastic way. And Rob's going to make me emotional here. Because, yeah, I did install Destiny 2 after Cayde 6 died. But I cried in Borderlands 2 when they killed Bloodwing. And I knew I had to hunt down Handsome Jack. And that's more emotional for me. Because Borderlands may be the funny game, may be the game about jokes and popping eyeballs out with spoons. But it is a game that makes you feel at the same time.
30 seconds.
They've got such a way with writing with the characters that we come to know and love that they recur throughout the series, and all the spin-off titles even, they have recurring characters. And then the characters from the spin-off appear in other spin-offs. It's such a fun world, such a fun universe. And it's just my favorite game. That's it.
Damn, leaving 8 seconds on the clock. Ooh, getting a little emotional there, man.
8
Oh,
seconds poured out for Bloodwing.
Oh, man, I was feeling it.
Use 8 seconds for a moment of silence.
Woo! All right, Rob, how you feeling, man?
Good.
Feeling good. All right, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Close it out. You also have Kaedhen to do whatever Caden's gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
Kaedhen 6.
That's fantastic.
That's amazing. All right, Rob. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So my friend Ryan here brings up a very interesting point where playing Destiny at times can feel like completing tasks is work, but then spends 2 to 3 weeks hunting for a gun, farming a gun. I ask you, that could be perceived as work to some people, but not to others. Now, in the pursuit of my own achievements in Destiny, I remember where I was and how I spent my day when the Garden of Salvation raid came out. I raided it. I was spent the entire weekend trying to overcome that challenge. Was not able to get Worlds First, but later that week we were able to overcome it, and I have my raid jacket with my name stitched in it.
Oh, that's tight.
I spent the $150 on that jacket because I love that game. I love the memory I had. I have a badge of honor for that moment in time. And I will also say that Destiny has it's a silly thing, but they have such a way with merch and attaching tangibility to the moments that you have with that game, and the way I'm able to sit down with friends, do a challenge, do a dungeon when it comes out, constantly be surprised, get things like the Dreaming City from
30 seconds.
Forsaken, which is my favorite location in a video game ever, and getting to explore that, and it's constantly fulfilling my imagination and curiosity with directions that the story can go, with the way the gameplay. I've left it all kind of on the back burner, but I'll leave it with this: there is no better feeling first-person shooter to me than Destiny 2. Kaedhen.
All right, cast your minds back. Go in the Wayback Machine with me to September 13th, 2017. You're in your sweaty, cramped, tiny, non-air-conditioned studio apartment with your new wife, and the Leviathan raid for Destiny 2 comes out, and you're a Destiny noob. You got on board Destiny 2 because your best friend loves it and he convinced you to play it after spending countless hours on Destiny 1, and he begs you to do the Leviathan raid with him. Wait, how do I only have 5 seconds? No, but it's amazing. How was that 30 seconds? That wasn't right. Oh, I didn't even get started. Oh, I let you down, Rob.
You're great.
You're not
No.
debating. You're just an assist trophy. You're supposed to spit it out.
That was
10 seconds.
that was perfect for me, man. Because I totally get it. That is a moment in time for me too.
Oh man, I absolutely loved both of your guys' debates today. God dang it!
While you're talking, I'll be right back.
You guys are making it so difficult for me. And Kaedhen, I love you. You really brought the wild cardness of the assist trophy tonight.
I pride myself.
I absolutely appreciate it.
Hopefully I didn't make anyone's ears bleed, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Rob is back. Oh man, that is such a sweet shirt, man.
It's not just a shirt though. Like Rob has to explain the significance of the merch in Destiny. I don't know if he can hear me at all.
So that's just the shirt. That's not also my raid jacket.
So yeah, explain like the significance of the merch. It's not like you just go to a store and you buy the shirt. Like you have to like earn the merch. Yeah.
So there's some stuff you can get through just going to like Bungie.net and going to their store, which is fun, like, you know, little ghost shells and mugs and stuff. But they have such ways of integrating the achievements and trophies that people have that oftentimes we kind of use, like, oh, I got that exotic, but like you can get tangible manifestations and representations of that. I also have my Garden of Salvation pin
Rob's getting up to get something else
for my title. For when I got this title, an emblem in Destiny 2. Like,
that's so sick.
This stuff is what it's all about for me. Is they're just things, but this is like a token of a memory of a really good time I had with friends.
Yeah.
And that to me, like, I've never experienced in another game before.
I do feel like that makes the game feel a little bit more epic, because you are getting something that's more tangible, because you are pumping, like, whether you're gonna say I don't give into microtransactions or not, you're still pumping in money for the extra content and those experiences that you're getting. It's cool that it's like, oh, I finished this new raid that's in this new expansion. Here's my raid jacket. This is my Letterman's jacket. Like, people feel good about getting those jackets when they make a big achievement in a sport or something. So getting that same feeling with a game is cool, and I don't think I've heard that from any other game, which is...
But at the same time, Cage the Elephant is fucking sick, dude.
Yo, but it was really cool when Zero chopped that dude in half.
Yeah, dude.
How does he divide by 0? I don't know how he does it.
Did anyone not
Zero
play
is
as
the
Zero on their
number.
first playthrough?
I didn't, because I always play
Because you didn't play Metal Gear Solid growing up. That's your problem.
But
my group of friends didn't because I played Zero.
but
Ooh.
I do have a Zero mouse pad.
Oh
that I got.
damn!
Yeah.
Very nice. Very
I've
nice.
got the Diamond Edition of Borderlands 3, so that comes in a full-size actual loot crate from the game, filled with
Damn.
plastic 3D model of Sanctuary 3, cloth map of the universe,
Love it.
10 figurine characters of
That's
all
cool.
the main players in the game, keychains of the vault keys, cool stuff.
That's cool.
That's
All
awesome.
right, lads, we'll get back on track. It is time
Just
for
saying,
us.
we love these games.
It is time for us to make up our minds, both Kaedhen and I, on which game we feel better about. Now, personally, I've been pumping hours into Destiny 2. That is like my game right now. I absolutely love Destiny right now.
Tried to focus on the arguments presented by the debate.
But Ryan Stabell debated the hell out of Borderlands, and so I'm gonna give him the dub for my personal. I'm giving Ryan the debate token of the week, man. You killed it, especially with you getting so emotional at the end right there. Oh, dude, pulling it from both games as well. I love it, man. That's gonna be my pick. Is gonna be for Ryan. Kaedhen, what's your vote?
Well, though I do acknowledge, Ryan brought the raw emotion and passion. I have to appreciate Rob's precise use of logic and counterpoints to pick apart the argument of Ryan. And, I personally just, I love both these game series so much, but, it was kind of like a bonding thing for one of my old school friends and I to play through Destiny 2 together and do that first raid that I alluded to earlier. And it was this epic 5-hour saga. And then my wife got mad at me because it was so late and she was hot and we were in a studio apartment. She couldn't sleep, so I had to leave. And we were fighting the final raid boss, and we just kept trying. And there was like one guy in our group who kept fucking up his role, and we couldn't beat him. So then I had to just quit, and then like 30 minutes later the group beat the boss, and I was like, the drama, the excitement. But yeah, so long story short, I gotta give it a Rob on this one.
Oh yeah, nice job, guys. And to
Yeah,
anyone out there,
one of our
there
best
wasn't
debates.
too much shade thrown at each debater this week, but like, just so you guys know, we all love both these games, and this is all fun and friendly, and like we love games and we love debating about games, hence our name. So
I mean, Rob and I have both played both of these games together.
I haven't played Borderlands with you guys, but I've definitely put in a few hours of Destiny with you guys, and it's a blast.
Yeah, and I still intend to like play through Borderlands again with Ryan and probably Tiny Tina too.
Can't wait.
So thank you to everyone, because I was super late about putting this post up onto the Discord. But for last week's debate with Banjo-Kazooie versus Mario 64, the winner was Stephen Beaumont with Banjo-Kazooie at 9 votes. And Kaedhen with Mario 64 at 6. I'm sorry. But it does say
all
6
I gotta
and
say
9.
is
Yeah, so we're all winners.
So we're all winners.
all I gotta say is nice.
Nice.
Great job, Steven.
Nice debate.
I acknowledge his superior debate skills.
It was very good. All right, man. I'll send it back to you.
All right, well, now we're moving on to the pitch. Just because Ryan and Rob, this is the first time doing this since they've been back, I'll kick us off just so you guys can see how it's done. But for our listeners, we each get 2 minutes to pitch a game we've been playing to the rest of the panelists, and then they decide if they're buying the game or not. So I'm doing things a little bit differently this time. Normally we say what game we're pitching and then we pitch it, but I'm going to do a mystery game this time just to give you guys a little bit extra spice. So do you?
I got the time. I got the time
You got
already,
time?
and I
All right,
am
so just let me know.
so ready for this, man. I am beyond ready for this.
Okay.
All right, Kaedhen, are you ready to rock and roll?
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1, pitch, my guy.
All right. So in this game, you play as a pest exterminator. It's 2D pixel art. You've got almost like a Ghostbusters style like vacuum on your back with a hose and a nozzle, so you can suck up insects like Luigi's Mansion style. And so each stage of the game, you're going to like kind of like a different sort of location. Like the first one's like a decrepit, nasty warehouse. The next one is like the back room of like a bar. One's like the underneath of like a boiler or something with like sewer grates, and there's all these different there's like tiers of pests. So like the lowest is like a grasshopper. If any of these things touch you, it's like real old school. You've got like 3 lives, and if you get touched by one, you die, like Pac-Man style, and then you start over. So like you got grasshoppers, and each of the pests has different behavior. So the grasshoppers just kind of like move in like a random direction, but like really slowly. So you just got to keep an eye on them a little bit. And then there's mice. The mice tend to stay in like one linear path in the maze-like structure of the level, but if they see you, they flee from you. So you have to like kind of sneak like perpendicular to the path they're on, and then like suck them up from the side when they don't see you. And then there's wasps, which are fast and erratic, so you really got to look out for those ones. And then there's scorpions, and the scorpions are like a big deal because they've got like a melee like long range stinger attack, and they'll get you. And they can
30
also
seconds.
shoot like poison like balls of venom at you that kill you too. But there's also power-ups. Okay, you find like grenades, which are like pest bombs that like knock the pests out temporarily. It's kind of like getting the power pip in like Pac-Man, and then you can run up and suck them up real quick. And then you also get like a power-up that increases the range of your suction on your vacuum cleaner. And that's like the only way you can even fight a scorpion. It's like they're like a boss. You got to get through all the levels and survive and get all the power-ups to max out your vacuum cleaner, and then you
Time.
suck up the... Okay.
Go on.
All right.
You suck up the scorpion.
As someone who's lived in a desert, I can say scorpions are a big deal.
Dude, I had the weirdest scorpion dream last night, not gonna lie.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm gonna start off with these pitch questions. I've got 2 for you. First off, what the hell is this game, Kaedhen? What is it called?
Well, I'm not going to tell you until you decide to buy it or not.
No, that's not okay.
Sorry. If it makes you not want to buy it, I guess it is what it is.
I just have
What
one
other questions you got?
I love the strategy.
Second off,
How much is this game?
yeah.
This game is currently $45.
Oh, what? What the hell?
I'm in.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You said it's 2D top down, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
what we're looking at. Like,
Pixel art.
what the hell is this game, dude?
Yeah, I think like Pac-Man, except for like instead of a maze, you're in like, you know, some building with like trash around, and instead of Pac-Man, you're like a little guy with a vacuum. And
Is
you're
it a
doing pests.
roguelite? I know you're kind of a roguelite guy.
No, so it's like each stage and the way the enemies are laid out are like the same every time, and they get like harder and harder as you go. And if you lose all your lives, you have to like start over from the beginning.
Or
So
like an
it's like
arcade
very
game.
yeah, it's like an arcade like old
Which
school.
roguelites are the modern arcade game
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
so.
yeah.
Does this game have like any sort of a narrative or?
It's literally just like there's like it's like text boxes and like really old school like crunchy sound bites of like the characters like voice acting, and it's just like a guy who's like, I need you to go take care of these pests. Like that's it. So.
Okay. Well, on those notes, I'm probably gonna say I'm out just because I'm not gonna drop $45 on this game.
I am curious and interested. I would probably wishlist it and wait for a sale for about half off.
That's
Hey.
fair.
But I would absolutely try it out, especially like with friends. Just
Oh, that's a
having
good
it on playing in
question.
the background.
Is
like,
there co-op?
Pass it off on a death. There isn't. No, but
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
you
even-
can definitely like pass it off on a death, you know?
Well, yeah, that I mean, like you could honestly make any game co-op game in a spirit, if like you have the right group
Mhm.
playing together. But that would be the like something I'd stream or just play with friends at my home and just here you try,
All
see
right.
how far you can get, and just That's
All right.
I like
Well,
the sound
I'm
of that.
happy to inform you, Ryan, that you are now the proud owner of a mini game inside of No More Heroes 2.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
The shambles, man. So good. I love it.
I gotta say, I was very surprised because No More Heroes 1 and 3 have like mini games that are like weird and like in the actual game world, like mowing the lawn or whatever. But No More Heroes 2, all of the mini games are like retro pixel art, like arcade games, and they're actually like really cool and fun. But anyway,
Do they
my
give those
God.
mini games names?
yes.
I wouldn't be a Suda game without a nickname in
Yeah.
game.
Let's see here. No More Heroes.
So if you buy No More Heroes on the Switch, you get both. It's a bundle, right? I know you can buy. Can you buy them separately, or do you get 1 and 2 as a bundle?
That's a good
You
question.
can buy 1 and 2 separately because those came out prior to 3 coming out.
Yeah, I
Those
don't
were released
really
long
know how that
ago.
Oh, I
works.
thought they
Dan.
just re-released them as a bundle, and then
They might have made a package for it with the release of No More Heroes 3, but they definitely released No More Heroes 1 and 2 like earlier this year, I want to say.
I know that. I thought they brought those two out separately, but like in a bundle as those two games. So you played buy one
Right.
package with
I
those
don't
two.
Yeah.
know.
Well, the game is called Bug Out.
Bug
Big
out.
surprise.
Appropriate.
Good name.
Appropriate. Yeah.
That
Cool.
that was such a crazy pitch, man.
That was the journey.
You guys are missing out because it turns out there's a whole lot more game behind that game, and you decided not to buy it. But
Well, I haven't played the first one, so
Don't you dare.
I got
Well,
all of No More Heroes too, and Bug Out.
well, let's move right along. Since you decided to buy my game, Ryan, I'll pass it on to you. What are you
All right.
pitching?
We have the timer ready.
yes, sir. 3, 2, 1, pitch it, baby.
All right, gamers. Let me get you all in the right mind space here. You're in a quaint town called Welduck. You and your two friends sitting in a tavern when Gorgons attack. Fearing your lives, one friend grabs a bow, another a staff, and you grab a pitchfork and fend those Gorgons off from your village. You've heard tale of Gorgons attacking other nearby villages and realize it's time somebody puts a stop to it. You gain more friends. You go through fantastic highs and tragic lows. One of you gets attacked by a Gorgon and has one Gorgon seed implanted in your eye. Two of your party members fall in love and have a child. Then one of them dies on the battlefield. Then their child dies on the battlefield.
What is happening?
Emotional roller coaster.
But
Oh my
after
God.
20 years of fighting, you manage to stop Ulstrix and put an end to the Gorgon threat. That is just one of the many possible tales to be had in Wildermyth, a procedural story-generated tactics game that feels like D&D, and you can play with your friends. Co-op.
Heck yeah.
How much more time do I have?
You've got 30 seconds.
30
need
seconds.
more?
Yeah.
I don't know that I need any more.
Oh,
that's
wow. All
Oh,
right.
confidence tonight.
I mean, I think the underscore of and you can play with your friends is like boom. Like,
Yeah.
I was ready for him to go more into play with your friends. Okay, so that was gonna be my question. Like, what is the co-op experience kind of like in this game?
So I haven't tried it co-op yet, but from what I've seen, it's everyone gets control of a character during combat. I don't know how the story decisions are made. Maybe I'll find out soon with Chris of the Spelunkers. I know he has this game now. But combat-wise, there you can have up to 5 people in any given party. So if you're playing with 2 people, you get to mix and match. But you can play with up to 5 people, and everyone gets to control an individual character throughout a campaign. Yeah,
That's
Dang.
cool.
straight up like Divinity style.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That's
I didn't know that. Okay.
How long is like a campaign or whatever you want to call it? In this
Let me take a look
game?
here. So I just finished my first campaign earlier today, so
Mhm.
my Steam count should be pretty accurate. About 4 hours.
Okay.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So like, does the game start the same way every time, or are you like presented different stories
So-
each start, or?
So there's 5 main enemy types. Gorgons is one of them, and there's there's one campaign for each enemy type, but then there's also just randomized campaigns. They'll procedurally generate and throw new stuff together. So it's, there's as many as procedural generation can put together. I don't know exactly how many options the game has, but it's more than 5. But there's 5 like kind of pre-made ones essentially. I know Chris and myself both had Gorgons for our like tutorial first campaign. I don't know if like it's always Gorgons for the first campaign, or if we just happen to both roll Gorgons for ours.
So do you have to do a campaign before you can hop into co-op, or is it like as soon as you buy the game you can just go straight into co-op?
The option was open as soon as I bought the game.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Is there like what kind of progression is there like when you finish a campaign? Do you just start from scratch? Or is there anything that carries over?
So you can legacy one of the
Nice.
heroes from that campaign, and then they get more prestige points. They can come. So I legacied my man Duig, who was the guy I was preluding to. He got attacked by a Gorgon and had a Gorgon seed implanted in his eye, so he has like a Gorgon stone covering half of his face.
That's so sick.
But he's just an absolute badass.
So is there like permadeath?
Oh yeah, I lost 2 characters, and the third character lost an arm.
So it's like a big deal when you
but
prestige a character over, but then they can die again later.
They give you options, right? So like the first time that happened for me, the character, like when the character dropped to 0 HP into combat, there was like, okay, they can either go out in a blaze of glory, actually die, but deal like 15 damage to this one enemy. Or they can retreat, be maimed, and have, whatever penalty permanent, like sometimes they lost an eye, permanent minus 20% accuracy. They got, just straight up maimed, minus 2 health overall for the rest of this campaign. But different things like that can happen. So they give you some options upon each death. I was talking with Chris about this earlier, and he pointed out that a lot of people haven't mentioned that like there's a lot of choice even within this. When one of my characters got maimed and died, there was the situation with Duig where like he had this internal calling. There's the occasional like little side story that'll happen for one character, and you can send 1 or 2 characters from the main group off with them. I sent one with him. He had this moment where like the Gorgon took over for a short second, and he attacked our main one of our other characters. They got maimed, and sillily though, that left one character to take a whole Gorgon party fight on for like a story point fight, so I lost that character. One was maimed. It was just Duig, who just attacked a friendly, and I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen anymore. I was
wow,
very cool.
This is Kaedhen and I have kind of been talking about playing this game together, maybe on stream for GGD, but like now I'm definitely sold. I definitely want to look into this game some more and get a stream going up.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this game. It's also like overwhelmingly positive on Steam straight out the gates. It's been in early access for a while. I've been wanting to get it for a bit. I might pull the trigger and finally pick it up soon.
See, I've heard a lot of things. I haven't seen very much gameplay of this. What is the art style like?
Watercolor-esque. It's a hand-drawn art style. The combat's grid-based tactics game, but instead of having like a 3D model, it's like a 2D piece of paper with that character's art drawn on it. There's no VO work. It's all just written out, but it's good writing. It's very good writing, and it's not overwhelming writing. I wouldn't say they're not giving you a whole screen's worth of writing to try and get through between any given scene.
So is it like on a sheet of paper, or is it more like pop-up book styled?
Pop-up book style.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool.
It, from what I've seen of it, it has a cool art style, but I think it might be off-putting to some people. They might look at it in first blush and say, "Oh, that's super low budget," and like equate that as just being trash. Which is nonsense. But it looks cool. It reminds me honestly of, I can't put a finger on it, but it's like kind of a childhood story, like a picture book almost. It's kind of the vibe it gives me a little bit,
like Child of Light,
I really
almost,
like it.
or
Kind of, but I mean, I'm talking like an actual book series from my childhood. I just can't recall.
Oh, gotcha.
It's got that kind of vibe that it presents, and but it, like in a good way. Like it has charm to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm buying. It sounds dope.
Yeah.
Banger Saga vibes.
Oh,
I'm in.
That looks like
Emergent
3
storytelling.
buys, man. You
Buying
sold
Banger
it.
Saga, so-
All right, so next up to the pitcher's mound is ye old Rob Hudak.
All right. Well, I have before we begin. Okay, ready. So let me know when you got time ready on the clock.
All right. 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, pitch.
All right. Now, this game I bring before you has really only one major obstacle before you, and that is acquiring a PS5. Once that has been locked down, this to me is an instant buy. So let me ask you a few questions. How do you feel about hyper precise, super reactionary, moment to moment satisfying combat?
Me like
I'm for it.
Then how do
I'm
you
for it.
feel about jaw-dropping visuals, impressive particle effects, fantastic, incredible, like unparalleled sound design, and unique gunplay?
meh.
Fair, sir. We got a tough crowd. How do you fare with narratives that evoke David Lynch?
Ooh, the magic words, David Lynch. All right.
I have the game for you in my current game of the year, and that game is Returnal.
Oh.
Now, when I first picked up this game, I was immediately sold because I love Housemarque and everything that they've ever made. I love Dead Nation, I love Alien Nation, I love Resogun. Everything they've made has just been fantastic to me, and they
30
have
seconds.
a pedigree. This game, I have never played a more satisfying moment to moment, visually rewarding and narratively impactful at the same time, kind of coming out of left field toward the very end, than I have with this game. And it's got a high price, but I think one, because it's on sale all the time, and two, I think it's honestly worth the full price tag. And that's it.
Heck yeah. All right.
Amazing.
So my question for you is like those people who might not know David Lynch's writing, can you go into a little bit more detail on that? And
Absolutely. So David Lynch is notable primarily for very abstract and sometimes obfuscated narrative where a lot of things are veiled in metaphor, and they're not always directly communicated to the recipient, as they are more left open, some components left open to interpretation, but also designed to evoke a particular sense and emotion, very successfully, I would argue. And if you were familiar with shows like Twin Peaks, movies like Mulholland Drive or Eraserhead, very dark and surreal in a lot of ways, but emotionally gripping and powerful, and oftentimes leave you wondering what you just watched or played, and then like how you kind of relate to that, which I feel like good art does.
What's a movie?
Brian Sabella's never seen a movie in his life.
So do the boss encounters make you physically sweat?
To hell with boss encounters, man. I've had avenging scout fights that have made me sweat harder than the boss fights in this game, which also put me to my limits. But some of these, so like, for clarification, so when the game first released, there was an issue with the online component of the game that I thought was really cool. where you can encounter deceased scouts, which are dead versions of yourself that you encounter and can choose to avenge, or save or salvage. And so you use a permanent currency called ether. And ether is the currency that persists between runs. And by avenging a fallen scout, you get like up to 5 ether. You cap at 30. Some of the more lenient, like the lesser difficulty ones, you get about 2, 3. And then the really powerful ones, you get about 5, and sometimes 6 if they drop another one on the ground. But so many white knuckle moments where a run I thought I'd had clutch like nearly come to an end just by avenging a scout. And some of the best 3D bullet hell moments I've ever played. That was another thing I forgot from my sales pitch, was who among you likes Metroid? Because this to me is
Ooh.
the greatest Metroid game I've ever played.
Wow. Okay.
I
Damn.
love Metroid. I love Super Metroid. I love Metroid Fusion, but this is the greatest iteration and the creation of like a third person, like 3D platforming Metroid game I've ever played. And because the upgrades that you get have such a role to play in combat. Ryan, I sent a video earlier, or showed him earlier today, some of the stuff I was doing, just kind of playing around on some runs. And one thing in particular, there's a combo of like the grappling hook that you get, the tether combined with your melee. You start bungee jumping around the map, like mid-air. You like bungee jump, launch yourself, turn around, grab bungee jump again, launch yourself the other direction, smash a dude, turn around, bungee jump another direction, shoot a bunch of dudes, land on a platform, bungee jump again. Like it feels like Doom and Quake and all these games that are known for fast-paced, like just hell in combat. And like I never want to stop playing it. I'm actually hunting the platinum for it right now, which Ryan knows of the crucible that I'm going through right now. I'm 2 ciphers away out of, I think, like 60 to getting the platinum.
Wow.
Oh, so
One of
that's
them
why
might
you
be
haven't been playing Destiny with us for the last 3 days. It's like, hey,
because
Rob, you want to play some Destiny? Yeah, let me just finish this platinum real quick. It should only take me about an hour or so. 3
no,
days
I've never
later,
said that. I've never said
you
that. I have said I am working on the platinum for this game, which
Yeah.
is going to take a while, and until it's done, I hope it is done soon. But the man, the nature of this game, the biggest issue, honestly, is that one of them is very likely bugged.
Oh,
But
really?
that was
No.
because I picked up the one that was bugged before they patched it.
Oh no.
And so because I played a lot of this game when it launched, and then waited a while, came back to it, and some of my obviously I had all my progress, but some of those things had small hiccups associated with them. So there is an issue I have to do, or I have to overcome with that. I will eventually. I think I'm going to take a break for a bit because I've spent probably just in this week alone 12 hours trying to get this done.
Wow.
Okay,
but
I misread.
it's okay. I understand.
It-
Trust me. It's not that I don't want to play
Comes
Destiny
from a
because I
place of
love
love.
that game.
No,
But
this is what he said. He said, I'll still be on my platinum hunt for Returnal. I'm so close. That's why I thought he was almost done.
I that's the thing.
Our
Me too,
receipts.
buddy. Me too.
3 days later.
But I was talking. So Dory streamed some Returnal today, and I'm so happy because she is in love with this game now too, which I did not think she was going to be. But I still keep wanting to do it because I cannot stop playing this game.
There you go.
Mhm.
I love playing this game. The guns feel incredible. There's literally a gun that like is in Destiny 2 that is in this game. It's the
Wow, okay.
Electropylon driver, which is basically Anarchy, the grenade launcher, that you shoot these little pylon nodes into things and create webs that connect
Nice.
and shock things.
Oh, that's
You can make
sick.
pentagrams out of it. It's so good.
I know this is rogue light or like.
light, because there is permanent progression you get by the upgrades that you get. But that's the thing, is it's like it's a Metroid roguelite, which is weird. But it's kind of incredible.
And there's something about like once you clear a biome, you don't have to do it again, right? Is there some form of forward progression?
Yes. So I don't want to say too much, because I think part of it is understanding some of the mysteries that you uncover for yourself. But basically, once you defeat a boss in any area, you no longer have to fight that boss, is one part. Two, the game is basically broken up into two different chunks. So you don't have to go through biome 1 all the way to biome 6 in a single run. There's a misconception about that game in that respect. There's kind of a checkpoint that you get. But let's say you start all the way over from biome 1. You can instantly go to biome 2 or biome 3 and completely cut out the other. And but if you, that's up to you if you want to, because there are still upgrades and things that are worthwhile, and versions of guns, better rolls essentially on guns that you can get from still participating in the very first biome, that you can carry with you into the next biome that you choose to do and get kind of a head start. But if you want, you just book it through. And so the game is great about it has one of the best map systems, very reminiscent of Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal's 3D map, which I think is the best 3D map ever. But it delineates optional paths and main paths. And you can choose, okay, I know this is an optional path. I can go here if I want to try to get a good roll on like maybe something that would be worthwhile. Yeah. And it is clearly denoted color wise and shape wise. It's like a dark blue triangle, or you could go through the teal rectangles, and like that's your main path. You will always find, like, if you continue down the main pathway, you will find like a doorway that leads to a portal to one of the other biomes.
Gotcha.
So you can, like, 5-10 minutes, book it to biome 3 if you want.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
All right, Jonah. You buying?
I know Rob said it goes on sale a lot. I think I might wait for a pretty decent sale on this.
It's fair.
I mean, I'm not like super into like frustratingly difficult games, hence my lack of interest in the Souls games.
It's a tough game at times, for sure.
But I mean, the game sounds cool. It looks phenomenal, and like I'm getting more into more challenging games, but I don't think I'm gonna drop top dollar for this one.
It's absolutely fair.
Fair. I got to try about 30 minutes of this when I got to meet Rob Hudak, and
Sure.
I have 2 words for you, gentlemen. I'm going to assist Rob on this sales pitch, actually, or 4 words: rein in the controller.
Oh,
Dory said the exact same thing when she played the game for the first time.
I keep forgetting about the haptic feedback.
see, I've only experienced it in a few games, so I forget that it's a main function in the DualSense.
Cool. I'm jealous.
It was my first comment. Like,
yeah, no, literally. He showed up. We talked for a little bit. I was like, "Cool, sit down, play Returnal."
Hey, nice to meet you, friend. Like, sit down.
Well, I told him that when he was pulling up, I was like, I know you've been waiting. You've been trying so hard and like waiting for so long to get a PS5. Here, play this and let's chat. And he just like, he holds the controller, starts at it, was like, oh my god, the rain.
That's awesome.
Ryan,
That's
are you still looking for a PS5?
Oh,
actually,
buddy.
I've got one in the mail coming this week.
Hell yeah. I was gonna say you gotta talk to our good man Hunter Pearson. He's gotten
PS5 bounty hunter.
He is our PS5 bounty hunter. He's gotten what, like 12 or 13 PS5s, and then like 4 Series X's.
One. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with that incoming PS5, I will absolutely be buying a copy of Returnal.
My man, yeah.
Yeah, I you had me at David Lynch and Metroid, baby. As soon as I get a PS5, I'm scooping this game up. It sounds dope. So,
and that's the thing. The narrative is really is a sleeper hit for me, because it's super obscure and esoteric for a lot of it, and then I completed Act 3 and so many things clicked into place just for me, and like participating in some of those like ending explain blah 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 blah, and people kind of re-highlighting things that reminded me of stuff. I was like, oh, that's awful.
Oh, so
And
it is like Dark Souls with the narrative.
You're losing them. You're losing them.
No, it's so I will say it is not a story that is relegated to item descriptions, anything like that.
Okay.
There is also a component to the narrative that plays out in your ship and the ship log, but it is what I think is I don't want to say too much, but it evolves.
Okay.
The narrative in the logs evolves in a really cool way, but there is also really cool cutscenes, but it is very it has moments of abstraction for sure, but it's more you questioning what you see as real.
More or less abstract than Dark Souls.
Did you say Shrek?
Abstract.
More or less
More or
Shrek.
less Shrek. Well, somebody once told me.
I think it would be like, the story never actually goes anywhere in Dark Souls. You just have to dig for it. But it sounds like in Returnal, it's just shrouded in mystery, and then at the end,
It's a lot of it has
it's
a lot
revelation.
of mystery,
So
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
Shrek than Dark Souls.
Yeah, more Shrek.
I would
Yeah,
say
There's
it's
a lot of
definitely-
layers.
Yeah,
the narrative drops coming and they don't stop coming.
yeah.
But yeah, I was on the fence for a little bit after playing Returnal, like stepping away and doing some other stuff. Fired it back up like 3 months later. I was like, "Yep, still game of the year. Not this isn't
Wow.
changing at all.
Wow.
This game,
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll still buy it on sale.
So,
I
Yeah.
mean, absolutely. If honestly, if you play it in any capacity, like you pick it up in any sense, like that's a victory to me. Because Dory said she bought it, and that blew my mind because she's also not one for like brutally difficult punishing games, but she also or roguelites. But
Mhm.
we kind of sold her on Hades, which was my game of the year last year, and the game of the year when it came out in 2018 in early access because
Yeah.
I love Supergiant games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I was like, I'm surprised you got this game. I hope you like it. I'm concerned that you won't, but let me know your thoughts. And so she's been starting to play it, and I'm joining her on the stream when she plays it. She's absolutely over the moon for it.
Heck yeah.
Beautiful.
Heck yeah.
And that's Returnal.
Awesome. All right. So, Jonah, I forgot, did you have a game to pitch?
No, I mean I could pitch a game. Do you want me to pitch a game? I could pitch a game.
We're sort of running out of time, so maybe we'll save it for next time. Unless you
Okay.
really, really, really,
10
really want to.
seconds.
I
Pitch
mean,
in 10
we're
seconds.
already gonna go long on this episode. So do you want me to pitch it? I'll pitch it.
Sure.
All right. Do you
go
want to
the
fire?
flow.
You want to fire up a clock for me?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, boys. In our medium, a lot of people don't consider these games, and a lot of people look down on mobile games. But, my friends, do I have a fantastic game for you? Not only is it free to play, not only does it have microtransactions, it gives you that microtransaction currency like candy. I'll be off the game for like 2 days, and it's like, oh, thanks for coming back. Here's 50 gems. This game is called Archero, and this game is an awesome little roguelite dungeon crawler on your phone that you can get for free. They've got, oh god, I was off of it for a while and then came back the other day. They've got like 10 different unique weapons. They've got boomerangs, so you throw them, they come back through your enemies. They've got spears that do an absolute huge amount of damage. You start out with a bow. They got different armor sets, and you get to build your character the way you want. You get little side characters, and you're just running around dodging enemies. You stop to fire, and it's just auto firing, and you can increase your attack speed, your movement speed, all of these different stats. It's super deep, and it's just it's fun. You open it up, play for 10 minutes, you can close it. It's
30 seconds.
Ryan, you said you're a big fan of Bloons Tower Defense.
I am a big fan of
It's like that good get in, kill a few enemies, drop out, clear a room, and then just like put your phone in your pocket, go back to doing whatever you're doing, hop back in. Okay, I'm gonna kill another room, another 2 rooms. Oh, look, I've spent 15 minutes clearing these rooms, and then once you get out, oh, look, they rewarded me with the chest.
This podcast sponsored by Archero. Download on the Play Store, Apple Arcade.
All right.
Well, I've got one question for you. Is the game free to play?
Yeah, it is.
I'm in, baby. I'll try it. It's free to play. Let's
the only
go.
thing I don't like about this game is normally I'm like super hot on battle passes and like seasons and games and stuff. This game blows through them way too fast. It does like, here, spend this $8 on this battle pass and it's only going to be live for 14 days. What? I'm not going to drop $8 on a battle pass. But that being said, you don't need the battle pass. They still have the free path that you can go down, and you're getting something every tier. It might not be as good as what's in the paid battle pass, but you're still getting a lot of good stuff. And like I said, with their microtransaction currency, they're throwing it at you left and right for like whatever. You complete a challenge, here's some free money. You complete a dungeon, here's some money. And like the dungeons, they've got 20 different dungeons, and then they have like a master mode, and then they put in 2 more elements that I haven't even touched because I was away for so long. This game's got co-op now too. It's awesome.
I'm sensing questions, Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh no, I already downloaded it.
And another happy customer.
What about you, Rob?
So this is going to come across the wrong way, and I definitely don't mean it to. I do not play phone games, not because I don't believe that they're not valid games. I play enough games as it is on a console and PC.
That's fair.
So I refuse to download games to my phone simply because that is the one thing I don't want to have phone or games on.
But what
like,
if I told
otherwise
you?
It sounds great.
What if you just only play it when you're pooping on the toilet, though?
That sounds pretty. Sorry, you set it up. I had to knock it down. Yeah. Honestly, I try not to be on my phone for too long in the bathroom anyway, just because if I don't, like, I'll be in there forever. So it's usually like a quick catch up on something in like one of the Discord servers.
What, you don't sitting on the toilet so long that your legs get numb?
No, because I need to immediately go and I need to then immediately go and then run around my warehouse at work throwing boxes everywhere.
Oh, well, if you're at work, you shouldn't be sitting on the clock that long. That's
or should you?
Boss makes $1, I make a dime.
I had a buddy that who was a manager at a coffee shop that took like 20-minute bathroom breaks sometimes. He's like, screw it, I'm getting paid to poop. I'm cool with it.
How did he not get fired?
He's the manager, and he also did a great job.
Nice.
It was just that one thing. We're like, I mean, we can't fault him for it.
It's just his one quirk.
Yeah.
He's just stealing money. It's fine.
Yeah, but he'd also like stay extra after work sometimes.
That's fair. So he's making more money.
No, like off clock.
Oh, okay.
Like he was a good guy.
That's fair.
I just bring it up as like kind of a joke of I know people that will.
For sure. All right, let's recorrect the trajectory of this tangential side quest. But I think we covered that, right? Like me and Ryan are down. Rob is out.
Yeah, not for the quality of the game itself.
Sure. Just on general principle.
Yeah. I know.
So with that, we're gonna cut a break. All right, we're back from our break, and a little bit unusual this time. This is normally when our good friend Wes, our man in the closet himself, would lead us through one of his amazing and fantastic games. But since he's on a trip in the wide world, instead we're replacing the game this week with community questions. So I'll start off with a little bit of a softball here. It's coming in from Dash in the community. One of the boys over at the, I always forget, it's the NXS
Yeah, I
I think
podcast. Is that?
NXS is
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Check it
Gaming
out.
in excess.
Gaming news.
Mm-hmm.
And he just asks, how does Kaedhen exude so much sex appeal? What's the secret?
Oh,
I'm just wondering, what do you guys think?
it takes every ounce of my body to not try and just like throw myself at the screen every time I see you each week we record the podcast. I'm glad we don't do it in
So much
person
distance.
because I'd probably have to sit next to you just so
Yeah.
I could at least be touching you in some factor. I'm
Sure.
sorry, but
It's the perfectly symmetrical head shape and the glasses. The
Yeah.
glasses.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
As you can see, now I want to be more like.
Oh, whoa. Dude, our
I-
audio listeners it's freaking me out. There's a doppelganger on the screen right now. It's crazy.
There's
The
a
beard,
reason.
the glasses.
There's a reason why I was
Go on. Go on.
Juan Wick doesn't wear his glasses on the podcast because it'd be too much for all y'all.
Yeah, too powerful.
Shooting bullets into people's ears with that sex appeal.
Yeah. So the real reason is because I've beaten Final Fantasy X more than 10 times. That's all you gotta do. It's a large commitment, but that's all you gotta do.
But it's
Yeah.
a very exclusive club.
I mean,
Yeah.
so it's like a multiplier. It multiplies by itself each time.
It's exponential growth.
Yeah. So like if he
Yeah.
continues, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
They're like
Better look out. I'm downloading it right now on Steam. Let's
We'll
go.
actually fly into the sun.
Yeah.
The
So,
trajectory would be so thrown off.
that leads me into our next question from Dash, the real question. Not that wasn't a real question. I wasn't just being vain. That was a real question from Dash. But his next question is, do you have any gaming traditions, such as a game you play annually or doing something special for your most anticipated game? And, for me, that's Final Fantasy X. I've been playing that game since my brain came online, it feels like. And it's hard not to replay that game every year. It's just
Makes sense.
comfort. Yeah. So what about you guys?
Yeah, I have a game I play at least one playthrough of every year, Pokemon Silver.
oh,
there
I
is-
was expecting Borderlands.
No, I've been ever since release. I've played through Pokemon Silver at least once every year.
Wow.
That is my second favorite game of all time, right behind Borderlands 2. Best Pokemon gen. Don't at me. Yeah, Gen 2 is everything I wanted out of classic Pokemon. It's just a little bit more put together. It looks just a little bit better. You get both Johto and Kanto. There's so much to do.
Sequels, baby.
See, that's an interesting take because I either hear people say I never hear anyone say anything bad about Gen 2, but I'm always hearing people say, "Oh, Gen 1's the best," or "Gen 3's the best," and then it's like, yeah, the rest of the gens afterwards are okay, but I never hear anyone say, "Oh, Gen 2's my favorite." I'll hear someone say,
I won't give my full argument, but go back and listen to that's what go back and listen to. It's like episode 4 or 5 of the Draft
It's your
Punks.
first appearance in Draft Punks, yeah.
My first appearance where we drafted Gen 2 Pokemon, and I gave my argument for Gen 2 being the most important generation because it's
Oh.
the reason we still have Pokemon today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he made a convincing argument, and that was a very fun draft, in part because having him on and having the insight he had, and also making Brian very angry because of Pseudo
Good stuff.
Yes.
Sweet. Well, what about you, Jonah?
The only games that I really would replay would be Zelda, like just the Zelda games. I've beaten Twilight Princess 4 or 5 times. I've beaten Wind Waker 3 or 4 times, just because the destination travel time between each destination is so long in that game. It's a little bit less. That is my favorite Zelda of all time is Wind Waker.
Yeah,
it's
a great game.
Twilight Princess is a close second, and I'm ready for the hate. I'm ready for everyone to come at me. Like, it's okay. Yeah, I don't think Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time are the best Zeldas. I think they hammered out what they wanted and put everything into these 2 cohesive games, and I really like them.
I agree with you.
Full body goosebumps right there.
Twilight Princess is an incredible game.
Yeah.
Same with Wind Waker.
Yeah.
But to me, it's Breath of the Wild. But I still
Mm.
absolutely
Oh,
love
and you
those
know what?
games.
That's very fair. Like that one was close to taking my second place spot, but I mean, I just love like that the time that those games came out in my childhood. Wind Waker
totally.
was the very first Zelda game I ever beat by myself.
Oh,
It
wow, that's
was
awesome.
like it was the first game I got for my GameCube. It came bundled in, and I have like so many good memories and so many bad memories of that game. Like it just
Hunting down those Triforce pieces. Oh boy.
that, and it's like the first 2 weeks I had my GameCube, I didn't have a memory card, so it was just like leaving it up all
Oh,
night, leaving it on all night. That way I wouldn't lose my progress, and then I'd die and I'd
That's
start all the
insane,
way over,
dude.
and I'm like, no, and I just cry. Yeah, it
I
was
remember
awesome.
that. I remember that struggle for sure.
It's rough.
Sick.
Oh man.
So yeah, what
Ocarina of
about you,
Time was
Rob?
my first Zelda game
Yeah.
that I played to completion, but Bloodborne. I
Oh
like
yeah. Mm.
I say this all the time like a broken record. I am literally always playing Bloodborne. I am
Yeah.
always in the middle of a playthrough of Bloodborne, be it some new character build, some different thing, helping other people out. It's my favorite game of all time, tied with Breath of the Wild. Like
Oh yeah, dude.
it's incredible.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you haven't even played it yet, Joda.
I
Just play it, okay?
there are haters, there are detractors. I totally understand.
No,
That game is perfection
It's
to me.
just those games. I
I
don't
get it.
know, I have a
I
hard
get
time
it.
getting into them.
Yeah,
Hey,
I was that
just
same
bought
way
some
until
Dark Souls
Borderlands
3.
or Bloodborne.
I
ingrained it
used to
is.
hate the FromSoft games until I played Borderlands.
It's like the Dark Souls of Borderlands.
There
Yeah.
is something about the community behind those games that I
Yeah.
love dearly, and the imagination and creativity that it sparks. But also just the game is so fun to play, and it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Dude, shout out to Vadi Vidya, dude. He's like doing
Yeah.
that Kickstarter of all of the art he's commissioned from like the community for like you know, if
Displays.
they yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's cool.
just it's good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
He's
He's dope.
the whole community in general is just fantastic. And like
All right.
the last thing I'll say is like the whole in general, typically the community is, at least the one that I'm a part of, is all about like, it's not about how hard the games are. That doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about like the experiences you have playing these games.
hmm
And that's it.
Well, on that note, our next question comes in from Wes himself, coincidentally. He couldn't be here in form, but he's here in spirit. Shout out Wes. But he says, greetings, great game debate crew. Since I'm not able to be there in person this week, I thought I would at least contribute to this conversation with a question. We all love From Software games, specifically says in parentheses, except Jonah. And to say that they've left an indelible mark on the industry would be an understatement. But when you do something for too long, you run a risk of becoming stale or pigeonholed into something that loses its charm. FromSoft has been doing the Souls-like formula since 2009, and although they have iterated and improved the formula and even attempted a slight departure with Sekiro, which was more of a strict action game than an ARPG, it's largely the same style of game. So my question to you, what kind of change do you want to see with FromSoft going forward? Like a new genre, different themes, etc. Do you even want them to break out and try something different, or do you just want more of the same from them? I'd be interested in what your vision is and what you want from the House of Miyazaki after Elden Ring.
Can I answer
But I'll
this
just
first?
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, as someone who doesn't really care for the stories, here's one thing. I don't like playing these games, and I have played the games on stream, and you guys have seen me absolutely destroy that first boss.
It's true.
Yeah, you did. That was a very fun moment to watch.
But I personally, I don't like the controls of that game, so I don't like playing the game. That being said, I think those are some of the most fun games to watch and to stream, see people stream. Like I genuinely do like watching those streams. The story in those games, I understand they have like this awesome lore and cool flavor text on their items and stuff. I don't care. I'm there for like a story that's right there in your face, and that's something that Sekiro had with like their cutscenes and stuff. And I know the Soulsborne games, they do have cutscenes and whatnot, but it's like, oh look, here's this boss, and like in
Yeah.
Bloodborne when you're it's the Abyss Watchers, right? That
That's in Dark Souls 3.
Oh, Dark Souls 3. Either way,
Yeah.
that's like one of the coolest bosses I've seen in any game, like ever. I
Yeah.
think that boss is
Incredible
awesome.
fight.
But like I was like, oh god, I want to know more. I want to see like an actual cutscene with this character, or see this character go through and watch them go into this state that they're in and explain what happened beforehand. I don't want to go back and read flavor text or read some lore that was written on a scrap piece of paper or watch 12 hours of YouTube just to find out what happened to the Abyss Watchers, you know?
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
like,
enough.
That's my
That
thing.
makes sense.
Better story.
All right.
Well,
And
not better. A story with
Yeah.
better clarity is
Thank
an
you.
important
Thank you.
distinction.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, I'm curious, Rob, since you just talking about how much you love Bloodborne, your answer to this question.
Well, that's the thing is I'm super curious to see what an open world game from them looks like with Elden
Yeah.
Ring.
Yeah.
But they gave me new Tenchu with Sekiro, and
Mhm.
that was such a gift
Yep.
because I grew up as a huge Tenchu fan. And when I saw that revealed at Microsoft, I was like, "It's Tenchu! They gave me Tenchu!" um, I I don't know, like probably something in the vein of like better platforming, but then
Oh.
like Sekiro kind of did that, but maybe
Yeah.
better on top of that.
Mhm.
But I think something that they could improve upon for sure is if they wanted to at least not that they really need help in increasing their audience, but to appeal to players like Jonah that don't enjoy the way that those games control very much, adding a little bit more, I guess, eliminating some of the weight behind a lot of like attack animations and the controls and stuff, where it can be a lot more deliberate in the combat. And if they leaned more akin to like your Devil May Cry's, your Bayonettas, um, for at least one game, would be cool. But then again, like that's kind of what Sekiro was for me as a fan of
Right.
other
Yeah.
games, was like that's what they kind of gave to fulfill that niche. So
Mhm.
I don't know. Wouldn't be opposed to having like some more transparent narrative in some respects.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could do both. They could have like
Totally.
a very apparent story with cutscenes, but then if you want to dig deeper, it's there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
what Destiny did with Destiny 2 is you've got that apparent story and you still have
Yep.
the Grimoire cards. You still have the deeper
Mhm.
lore that you can dig into, but
Yeah.
they have more of an apparent story in Destiny 2. That's why I fell off
Yeah.
Destiny 1. Is the same exact
Yeah.
reason.
Absolutely. No, that's totally fair. And one of the cool things just on that note I'll add is when they started including the grimoire cards basically in the game on the weapons themselves as like lore tabs that you could read. That stuff I really appreciated as a fan of Destiny.
Sick.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have anything to add to the discussion?
I would really like to see just more varied settings.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
what I
like
was
to
going
see
to say
like
too, actually.
cyberpunk, futuristic, or
Yeah.
even just
Mech
general
Souls.
sci-fi. Mech would be awesome.
Pixels, dude.
Isn't that just the
And
Surge? In the Surge
no,
too?
but
I mean, but done good.
Done better. Surge 2 is all right.
they're fine. Armored, but like Armored Core and Souls game.
Yeah.
Maybe a shooter sometime. Maybe like one of the side teams does a shooter spin-off, just for a little, some gameplay variety. But if they just want to stick with their bread and butter, I'm happy with it. I love all 3 Dark Souls, love Bloodborne. I need to finish most of those still, but I do I do love them all. And I like the games that copy the things those do. Ghost of Tsushima, Star Wars Fallen Order. I'm all for that combat style. I'm all for that control scheme. So, but just more settings, I think, is the thing. I don't care where they go, but just because in a way, all of them. Well, no, Bloodborne sticks out for me because it feels very gothic. But the other Sekiro and Dark Souls all kind of feel
Yeah, and Demon
medieval, even
Souls
though
and
if one's
Elden
medieval,
Ring is going to fit right into that mold too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. I remember when before Bloodborne was announced and there were rumors of them working on the game, there was this weird rumor that I guess was just totally wrong, and I don't know who came up with it, but it was that they were working on a game based on Aztec mythology, and like that just like got my mind
that'd be
racing. But
dope.
yeah, if they just did, if they just picked a different setting, different time period, like yeah,
Mesoamerican or
that just does so
that'd be
much. Like how much Bloodborne like refreshed my love for those games just by changing the setting. It just really does a lot.
Yeah,
So,
that
but yeah.
that's my favorite setting amongst all of them for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, other than that, I'm a shameless Miyazaki simp. I will eat whatever you deign worthy to feed me. And so anyway, our next question comes in from Brendan in the Discord. He says, "Hello, everyone." Hello, Brendan. With regard to all the remakes and reimaginings that have been on the rise recently, what older game would you most want to get that treatment in the near future? Just throwing it out there. They got a reboot, Legacy of Kain, baby. Let's go. Just go to YouTube right now and watch the intro cinematic to Soul Reaver and tell me.
Yeah, specifically
Yeah.
Soul Reaver is
Oh
the
my
one I
God.
want.
Dude.
I love that game
Just
so much.
that IP is just so rich and interesting, and vampires are so hot right now. Like, leave money on the table.
Also written by Amy Hennig.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Still doing the
she
thing.
wrote. Yeah,
Still kicking ass.
yeah.
So Ubisoft, I'm right here. I'm right here. You don't even have to. I mean, you don't have to make a new one or remake one. Just port all the Splinter Cell to current console.
Oh.
That's all I've got.
Mm-hmm. All right, what about
Ryan might have a solution for you.
I do have a solution for you. It's called a Series S. They were just on sale. I picked up every single one for $5 or less a couple weeks back.
I just bought a Series S for my friend. And her Xbox died last night, so I'm so glad I bought that for her.
Yeah, that's pretty serendipitous.
We were playing so I bought it for her on Thursday night, and last night we were playing Destiny, and she just vanished. She just vanished like Kaedhen
Speaking of vanishing,
she
literally summoned him away.
What a vanishing act.
She just vanished, and her brother's texting her, and he's like, "Where'd you go?" And she's like, "My Xbox won't turn on anymore." And we're like, "Whoa, it's a good thing you got a Series S coming." So
that's a shame.
I
agree. I love Splinter Cell.
I want more so bad.
I agree.
Speaking of Splinter Cell, Ryan, have you tried out that lockpicking minigame that I talked to you about in Splinter Cell 1?
I haven't booted it up yet, no, but I will sometime soon, I'm sure.
Heck yeah.
He's gonna throw his controller at the TV screen in a fit of rage. They've ruined it.
Cool. Yeah, Ryan and Rob, what do you guys, what's your dream remake or reimagining?
I would love to see a new remake for Pokemon Coliseum.
Yeah.
So that was a game I never beat years ago, but I played quite a bit of. I'd love to see it through to the end now. And I mean, who doesn't want more just fully 3D Pokemon on a console? Come on, Game Freak.
I mean, isn't that kind of what they've got with the new Pokemon now? Is you're getting that full 3D experience with the battles? Or
you clearly never played Pokemon Stadium or Coliseum.
No,
sir.
I have, and it looked like garbage even when I was a kid.
It's not just the looks thing. It's that those games went in a very different story direction than the base games of Pokemon. It was a little, if I remember correctly, it's been a lot of time, a little more adult.
Okay.
Than 8 badges and then the Elite Four. And I think that's another thing I'd like to see from Pokemon, which is why this was my pick for a remake and not a different Pokemon game, is more stories that are a little more adult. I realize it's a brand very focused on kids. That's fine. I get it. I'm still going to buy and play them because I have a problem. But I would at the same time like to see story, because I think Pokemon realizes they've got a lot of people that are still playing these games 25 years later, and you don't stay a 5-year-old for 25 years.
Unless you're
But
Ash
Pokemon
Ketchum.
still stays Pokemon.
But Pokemon is still Pokemon, and for better and for worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, and I think that's part of why, like, something was it Dovek or Dokev? I forget what it's called.
Dokev.
Dokev.
Mm.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That a game like that
Yeah.
stands out for a reason.
Yep.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. What do you think, Rob? You didn't answer the question here.
Well,
Right?
no. Well, in part, like Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver would be a huge one for me because I
Mhm.
I adored that game. I played that game to hell. But in a different answer, probably Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Probably, I would love for that Blue Point remake to be real, just
Yeah.
because like Twin Snakes was fine, but seeing that game from like a contemporary
Yeah.
graphical and gameplay perspective would be so
Mhm.
cool. Because
Yeah,
that was
just
one of my first real big games.
Mhm. Yeah, just what they do with their remakes, just pushing the graphics and the animations to the edge,
Boy,
you know.
Demon
Yeah, that would
Souls, let
be
me tell you,
so jealous. I can't wait to play that one day.
it's incredible, man.
All right. Well, thanks again, Brendan, for the question. And our next one comes in from Sal, member of the Discord, moderator on the Discord, aka
Woo!
Sly Funky Monk. He asks, "What was your jaw on the floor moment this generation in gaming?" He specifies from actual experience, not from watching a trailer. Just to
So-
jump in. Oh, go ahead, Rob. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna ask, are we talking like PS4, Xbox
I
generation,
think we're
or like
talking current gen
PS5?
now. Yeah, PS5
Oh,
and
Cool.
Xbox
okay.
Series X.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I'm still not thinking in terms of current gen because I don't have one.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll
That's
stick
fair. I
this
mean, I
one
guess
out.
whatever you have access to, for sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
okay. Just framing my mind.
sure.
I think mine would have to be the first time I played Astrobot. Just like feeling
Mm.
Astrobot running around, you can feel it on the controller, and like at the beginning when you're pulling the thrusters, you can feel that tension, and then once it finally breaks, it's insane to feel that.
Yeah.
And like I've said many of times, words do not describe how insane that feeling is with that controller. It does a good job, and I'm worried that not a lot of developers are gonna do anything with it because I mean, making a game's hard, and PlayStation's adding another thing that they need to do to add immersion into their game. So I think we're only gonna see it from first party stuff, which
Yeah,
I understand. They're only making it for one console, so it makes sense, but like I want to see it in other things more than just Call of Duty. Like it's cool in Call of Duty because you're getting that trigger wall that you would feel in like a real gun, which is super fascinating for someone like me who's like a nerd about that stuff. But like, I mean, that's it. I'm just gonna get cool controller with Call of Duty. I wish I had that same experience with Destiny, but I understand that's an older game. Maybe we'll get something in an update later on.
sure.
But
Yeah. I mean, they did recently do the whole PS5 and Xbox Series
Yeah.
X like patch update thing, but yeah, they didn't add that, sadly. But they do enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Novelty. Yeah.
What do you got, Rob?
Visually, Demon Souls.
Mhm.
That it is when you have a 4K TV and you've never really pushed it to its limits before, and then you fire up a PS5 for the first time and then play Demon Souls and go through that whole opening tutorial area, and just like, it's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
It is the best a Souls game has ever looked. And I desperately want that for Bloodborne, but I know that's probably never going to happen. But like, just seeing that and playing it, and like the instantaneous load stuff, like
Yeah.
it's impressive, but also like, it's kind of funny, that joke where like, well, I don't have load screens. What am I gonna do? Just keep playing the game, I guess. No breaks? Oh no. It's just kind of funny to me. But like gameplay wise, Returnal for sure.
Yeah.
But I also
Pretty
haven't played
sick.
Ratchet and Clank yet.
True. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? You're getting your PS5 in the mail, so
That's true.
He's
I've had a
about
Series
to.
S for a little while,
okay, cool.
but I've got a very modern PC.
Mhm.
But
There you
the
go.
Switch is this generation, right?
Yeah,
Technically.
Switch counts this
Absolutely.
generation.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Setting foot off of the tutorial step in Breath of the Wild,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the one Zelda game I've played for more than 5 hours.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's that whole title drop.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
Mm.
gorgeous. I spent so much time just exploring Hyrule. It is such an amazing time.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna copy you picking Breath of the Wild, but somehow the dragons weren't spoiled for me in that game before I played it. So like the
Same.
first time you're just running around, you see a fucking dragon flying, you're like, what is going on? Like, what does
Not-
this mean? How do you
Not
interact
just
with this?
see it, the music plays.
Yeah, it's a magical experience,
Ah.
dude. And it's like it could be anything from you're just riding across the field on your horse and you just see it off in the distance in the sky like a streak, or you're like next to a pool at the bottom of a waterfall and it just comes out like right in front of you. Now it's like
and the piano.
yeah,
It's
it's just
incredible.
Yeah.
that game. I recently decided to get into playing that game on PC, so I went through the really annoying process of like ripping it off my Wii U disc and all that stuff, and
Oh yeah.
I've been playing at 60 FPS with like mods and stuff on my PC, and like I'm just like back in, dude. Like this game,
Oh, that's
I
so
can't wait
sick.
for Breath of the Wild 2.
I'm going to
Yeah.
be doing that at the end of my full replay of all the Zelda games. That is
Awesome.
like what I'm ending it on was the PC
Yeah.
version of that. Oh,
Mm.
I fired it up just to test it out, and it's stupid how pretty
Yeah.
and great that game looks.
I think it like says a lot about how beloved and ravenous the fan base is for that game, because like the game literally like runs perfectly on the emulator now. Like people wanted to be able to play that game so bad on PC, they just like put their backs into it and put in all the work. Like literally, like, you know, the emulator page has the quality that each game runs on it, anywhere from like doesn't boot, like can't be finished, glitchy, and like it's perfect. Like they've nailed it. Like you can play
That's
it
insane.
totally fine on PC. Yeah.
Literally, my phone wallpaper
Yeah.
is Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild 2 Link.
Cannot wait, dude. Like between Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild 2, like I'm about to be ripped in half from hype. Like
God of War.
yeah. Just
Yeah,
getting
and Horizon.
quartered by hype. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks all for the question. Our last one comes in from Hunter, the PS5 bounty hunter himself, friend of the show. Shout out to Zach too, his brother. For argument's sake, let's say Insomniac's Wolverine game is going to be open world like Spider-Man. If you're a developer at Insomniac, how do you go about making traversing the open world fun? You guys just jump in on this one, because I don't know.
I was thinking about this today, and I was just like, I don't know how they're going to handle this game, because like the movement is so important in Spider-Man because you're swinging, right? But
At the
like,
beginning of the game, Peter just gives him a pair of web shooters, right? That's it.
And then he stabs him with his claw.
Yeah.
Well, Wolverine's known for motorcycles, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I
Motorcycle
saw-
modifications.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Also, like bestial build and then like traversal and like upgrades in that path, and like being able to climb and scale buildings with your claws, and kind of like prototype a little bit.
That's what I was
instead of a
thinking,
Hulk.
is the game was going to play like something like Prototype or even Crackdown. Like,
would it be silly to be in a city with like 100-story skyscrapers and your Wolverine just like climbing up the building?
A little, but at the same time, it's Wolverine. It's a dude that shoots out adamantium claws out of his hands.
Well,
So
what
it's
Ryan was
kinda
saying with
character.
the motorcycle, you know, that
Yeah.
obviously harkens to Days Gone. Like, do you think it would be better served if it was more of like a running around in like a wilderness and going to encampments type of thing, or do you need a big city?
What if they do it level based, and so it's not a big open world? They do it level based,
Well,
kind of like Ratchet and Clank, and you're just going through different
Mhm.
time periods as Wolverine.
for the sake of the question,
I was gonna say,
assume
so
it's
Jonah
open
just doesn't
world.
want to answer the question.
I personally do think they should go the route of something like Evil Within 2, where it's like bespoke, like miniature open world sort of, and then you're progressing through them linearly. That's how I would
Yeah.
probably prefer it. But they,
It-
they're the masters. They're going to show me what I don't know.
Sure. I'm also kind of just fatigued with open world games.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
too.
And I would kind of just like a handcrafted like
Mm-hmm.
narrative. And even though like God of War was something open world ish, like
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
like artisanal world design is
That
more of what I prefer.
Semi-linear open world.
Yeah.
Isn't
Mm.
that what Sony calls wide linear?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Naughty Dog
Yeah.
Mhm.
linear, like open linear thing. Yeah, for sure. I think I'd probably prefer that for that type of game.
Mhm. What about this though? You know how like in Spider-Man you got like the zip line where you just like look at where you want to go and he's just like
Mhm.
you zip right there.
He just jumps.
Well, no. What if you whistle like when you're summoning your horse in like Red Dead or Zelda or whatever, but Colossus just appears behind you wherever you are and he picks you up and just throws you right where you're pointing.
Fastball. You just have an on-demand fastball
Yeah,
special.
yeah, just wherever you are.
If that's the case, I'm pre-ordering today. All right.
Yeah.
That's
I will shut up and give them my money.
Uh-huh. Let's see here. We have one last question. This is from Dashing, and I missed it on my first go through. But his question is, what's the most intimidating boss you've come across in a game that ended up being the biggest pushover? My challenge to each of you is, do you have a better answer than the Ancient Dragon in Dark Souls 3?
Yes.
Well, how would you know?
Because he did it on stream.
No.
shit.
I'm gonna say Calamity Ganon in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So
Disappointing.
the most disappointing boss in any game I've ever played.
I hard disagree.
Okay.
I loved that fight.
I thought the fight was cool. He was way too easy. He was way too easy, especially if you beat all of the or if you conquer all the divine beasts.
Yeah, but to me at that point, it wasn't about the difficulty. It was about capturing that moment.
Well,
it was a powerful moment for me.
I understand like the moment and like the.
Are you talking about like the fight in his like guardian Frankenstein form or the pig form or both? Like as a whole thing?
The whole thing, because I understand that is a powerful experience and it is epic and I thought it was super cool, but like it happened so fast that I was like, okay, it's over now. We're not.
I think part of that has to do with how little buildup there is with Ganon as a character in that game. He's just presented as like a force of nature instead of an actual character.
That's probably
just
what my issue was with it, is because like
that makes sense.
Like I've said several times, that game just doesn't have the narrative that they advertised it would. They advertised it to be this fully voiced epic story, and it was more of an epic adventure rather than a story. The story was quite lacking, and it kind of, again, I'll say it goes into that Dark Souls territory where you gotta read the books. You gotta see.
Really doesn't like that stuff.
I really don't. I like.
It's a fair criticism. I agree.
It just, all the other Zelda games, they're pretty in your face about the story that's going on. And this game isn't, which is fine. It's fine. The gameplay's still solid, and what little story there is still all right. I feel like it was the most lacking in the story department than any of the other Zelda games.
Well, getting back to the question, Ryan or Rob, do you have a disappointing boss?
I have to rack my brain a little bit.
All right. I did think of one, so I'll give you time, Rob.
Cool.
Tyrene Calypso in Borderlands 3 is that end game fight is very boring. I think her brother's a more fun fight. I think most of the vault bosses in Borderlands 3 are much more fun fights than Tyrene herself. I think that one is, I don't know, it's got a few special moves, but they're pretty easily avoided. And while the design of that boss is really cool, because like Tyrene morphs with one of the vault monsters.
Oh, that's cool.
It's interesting. The fight itself, especially if you have anyone not necessarily over leveled, just has a legendary gun on them of appropriate level, it's a piece of cake. Like it's that game until you get to the end game state and start using oh God, what is it? The chaos mode? I can't whatever the end game system is called. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't played enough Borderlands 3. It's a problem in my life.
He needs to put another 1,000 hours into it, guys.
At least 2,000. Come on, Jonah. Those are rookie numbers. Once you get to that end game mode, all the bosses are tough. But that first run through, like, because you can set it where, you know, if you've got a friend that's level 40, they're going to see level 40 enemies. But if they have a level 40 legendary, those enemies are still going to go down super easy because the legendary guns are strong even within their level. So it's
but setting
you guys are kind of making me think of like a larger point that like I think in general for most games, like in terms of like a challenge, like in-game bosses are usually a letdown because normally you've just done all the side stuff and over leveled and then they're just not hard anymore. Like I think about Witcher 3 when I finally got around to fighting Aridin. My build with Geralt was so ridiculous that I killed him in 3 hits.
Oh
like,
my god.
It was just like it was such a letdown. But
You know
anyway.
what fight wasn't that for me? Bloodborne.
Yeah. Final bosses in Dark Souls games or Souls-like games are an exception, I guess.
I thought of one. The Joker in Arkham Asylum.
Yes, perfect answer. What a weird thing.
That was such a like, really?
Yeah, it's like, what is happening here?
Really?
Yeah, and it's very not Joker too as a character, you know?
Yeah, like that's the thing is it
exact
was like
opposite.
so out of Joker's character and archetype of like,
Yeah.
okay, now he's just Bane.
hmm Or any of the big
Cool.
brutes you fought the whole game already, you know?
Yeah, but like the whole thing is like he's literally just doing the Bane juice and like
Yeah.
turns into Cro-Magnon
Joker
Joker.
Bane. Yeah.
Joker Bane. And it was dumb and completely like otherwise that's my favorite of the 3 games.
Yeah.
But like
I'll never not be mad that you cover your fist in plastic explosive and detonate it and your whole arm isn't blown off. It's just fine, you know, like
he prepared for that.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, it's like a claymore mine. It'll only explode facing one
Yeah, there you
way.
go. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, I think we made it. Thanks to our community members for the community questions. Thanks to Rob and Ryan for coming on again. We really appreciate it. We'll go around real quick for final thoughts. Let the guests go first. Rob, final thoughts. Anything you want to plug? Just any thoughts you're having?
Just Draft Punk's pretty great. Also,
Punks.
we're doing this thing with Preston and Brian are doing this thing called Trivia Punks. That they
Ooh.
basically custom tailor, like it's a game show custom made for you. We're just waiting on the release but I think Brian needs to finish some stuff. He has a child on the way. If you didn't know,
Oh, wow. Congratulations. I did not know that.
Next month
Wow.
is when their child's due. But Wes Bates
Ooh.
is going to be the guest for episode 2. We had Bob on for the first one, and that was a delight to listen to. It's like it's nice when you get to fan out and geek over stuff that you're like peripherally involved with, and just like see your friends succeed and do these cool things, and you just get to be a fan. It's so
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the next episode because I haven't heard it yet.
Sweet. And Ryan, final thoughts.
Spelunkers. We've got game explorations, and last call, all our streams. But my favorite thing, we've had Kaedhen on for it. Gotta rank them all. We are undertaking an enormous life-changing task to rank every single Pokemon in the most officially arbitrary list of all time. And it's just been an absolute blast. We're a little more than 400 Pokemon through a list of a little over 1,000 that's about to get added onto because of Legends dropping early next year.
So,
Yes, job security.
what's number one right now? Is it still Charizard?
Number one right now is Decidueye.
Oh,
Ooh, that's very cool.
okay.
Interesting
Yeah,
pick.
it's so fun to listen to.
Yeah, it's very entertaining for sure. All right,
That's awesome.
Jonah, final thoughts?
We have Game Club. Our next Game Club game is going to be Metroid Dread, and
I'll be joining that one.
Our current Game Club, which this will have had our discussion the day after this recording, which I was unable to finish Psychonauts because I purchased a 980 Ti and it doesn't allow me to play games, so I can really only just record and edit the podcast on my PC now. Yeah. So, yeah, we got Game Club. We're gonna be doing another Crowsmack giveaway. I don't know when we're gonna do that, but I think we're gonna do something similar to what we did with our last one. And Rob, that Doom Eternal poster is still on the board, man. It's the last one.
Desperately, I'm gonna still keep trying.
All right.
Every time I see it come up, I'm gonna keep trying because I want that poster.
Well, I guess I can say we kind of just saved it for you.
I'll do what I can to participate in a very ethical and fair competition to win it, no matter what happens.
Fair.
We've decided the next contest will be who can defeat Bloodborne the fastest, starting now. Send us your screenshot.
Hunter level 10. I've already got a head start.
Cool. Well, just plug real quick. I realize I should have done this at the beginning of the podcast, but if you made it this far, it helps us out if you like the video on YouTube and share the podcast with your friends. Really appreciate it. And help me out here, Jenna, if I forget anything. But yeah, that too. If you see it on anything, but
share it around like that. I mean, that's our biggest thing. Is like we're not doing this for money. We're not. Like we're doing this as a passion project for us. We love just talking with our awesome people in the community, like these two gentlemen right here. And
Same.
we just hang out. Like if you could share it and let other people know, like I guess the bigger our show gets, we can get some really cool guests on too because we'll have a little bit of recognition. So I mean, share it around. We want to.
And as far as the Discord goes, I think there's a link to it on our YouTube channel and our Twitter account, which is at Great Game Debate, spelled DEB, the number 8. And you can check out Jonah streaming on Twitch. How does that work?
It's twitch.tv, great_game_debate.
Nice. Yeah.
I can kind of get a Twitch stream up, but I don't.
Oh,
said,
that's right. Yeah, you're on a computer troll right now, so check out the Twitch in the future.
What we might be able to do is you might be able to play some God, what was that? Wildermyth. You might be able to do some co-op on Wildermyth. I don't think that game would be too taxing, maybe.
Yeah,
and then we could
really intensive.
And then maybe we could just like do a run together and see how that goes. But yeah, I definitely want to check that game out with you and see if we can do something fun with it and maybe pull these guys in too.
I want to see that happen. I want to see a Wilderness stream with y'all.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, once again, thanks guys for being on. And as always, happy gaming. Bye.
Later.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MISTRIVEN 719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time.